everyone, it's Alex, and today is very different because I have a special guest on my channel.
Hello!
And it is Kelsey. I'm here in Alabama visiting her safely, but I found out recently that I was tagged by CJ at CJ Reads, who we really love.
Yes.
So CJ, thank you for the tag. But in general, and I was telling you this about how I feel like on my channel I don't talk negatively about stuff. So this will be really different. Kelsey and I, we have pretty similar tastes, but I feel like she reads a lot more niche stuff than me. So I feel like her answers would be really interesting. You can go first. I feel like more people would be more curious what you would have answers for than me.
Okay, well, do you want to know the question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Question one.
Question one. A popular book everyone loves that you have no interest in reading.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking.
It's already a big one for you.
Really?
Jack by Marilyn Robbins. The whole family, is it a family saga? I just really don't care about the whole pastor relationship with the son. I think that's what it is. I just don't care. So I don't want to read it.
My answer was, Eleanor, Oliphant is completely fine. So,
did
you ever read that?
I did.
Okay.
You can skip it.
Okay, yeah. Is twee the right word? I feel like I would like it in general, but I feel like it's sort of exactly what I expect it to be.
It does seem very, commercially quirky. Kind of like the Reese Witherspoon picks. I feel like those are, where those fall into. It's they're not beach reads, but they're, trying to be a little more complicated, but they're still not, I guess, stuff that we naturally read.
That makes sense then for my answer. Question two.
A classic book or author you don't have an interest in reading. Raymond Carver.
Oh, okay.
I do feel like literally any male author that's considered canonly classic, but I like a lot of gothic horror, Mary Shelley, things like that. So I'd be fine with that, but I couldn't even tell you what Raymond Carver is about. I just hear it associated with bro culture.
Yeah, I said probably if I had to think of one for the classic portion, probably Ernest Hemingway, because I don't the whole 1920s stuff Fitzgerald and that I don't really care.
I think it's fine because I think they've gotten a lot of praise already, so it's okay. The third question is an author whose books you have no interest in reading.
Oh no.
Allie Smith.
Oh, okay.
Well, first I saw CJ Reads, where I'm not into the books that feel like they're going over my head and whatever. But I also, or pretentious for no reason, but I also don't get the whole thing with the seasonal quartet because I feel like that's super gimmicky. I don't know, because I feel isn't the whole spiel she talks about the political and social. I normally like that kind of stuff, social and political and economic commentary, but maybe it's because it's British and I feel so distant from that. I just don't really care. What's your answer?
I said Murakami because I don't really understand any type of magical realism, which I know is kind of a comprehensive judgmental thing to think about him, but all I've heard is always it takes these turns into the fantastical kind of, which isn't my thing because then I can't concentrate. I always hear Norwegian Wood is a good entry point, but I always hear Wind Up Bird Chronicle or IQ 84, that really big one that people seem to love.
3.2. I feel like it should be 3B.
Oh, I may have missed this one.
A problematic author whose books you have no interest in reading.
Oh, I did write this one.
Okay. Oh, okay. I didn't have too many I couldn't think of too many people in this, but I put American Dirt by Janine Cummins, which is people were really against it, but it's been at the bestsellers list forever.
Right. I know I remember because I was what is it? But it's that cover with the blue and looks wires and stuff. Yeah, I remember that was really controversial.
And I thought that we had all we weren't gonna read it.
People must have either really liked it regardless, or they maybe bought it because of the controversy.
Yeah, I don't know, but
so
not interested.
But I said we talked about that we talked about this at the bookstore actually, but Jeffrey Eugenides because of the whole I've only read The Virgin Suicides by him, which I liked, but with the whole thing with Fresh Complaint with those collected stories he released a few years ago, that last one I was telling you about, which was a weird commentary on the whole, I think it was around the same time as Me Too, but it was weird. I took it as the impression that his stance was that he doesn't support women in that way, which is strange. I would classify that as problematic, but it really turned me off from reading other stuff.
that's interesting because I feel like a lot of people, I've like heard about problematic authors rather than like finding it out myself, I guess. But you like read that and you were really put off by that. Mm-hmm. He comes out with a book like fairly often. How come I always see it at like all the thrifted book places really quickly? Number 4. An author you have read a couple of books from and have decided their books are not for you. This is going to be a hot take.
Okay.
Rachel Cusk. I feel like Chunks is playing with his mouth. I feel like she falls into the wheelhouse of like Olivia Lang, like the real smart academic ladies, just like talking and like experimenting with form. But I read Outline and what's the second one?
Transit, yeah.
And I read Coventry. I read Coventry, and I know you told me not to read Coventry, but I was like, maybe an essay collection would appeal to me more so than the other ones. But it almost felt experimental for the sake of like, I don't know, being experimental.
Right.
It didn't like feel like it necessarily fit the narrative, I guess. I don't know.
My answer is Meg Wolitzer.
So, oh yeah.
Yeah, there's the Interestings and then Female Persuasion.
Yeah.
And the Interestings I found was like, I don't actively like get annoyed by characters, but that one really annoyed me. But then I read the Female Persuasion and that sealed the deal because it felt very like entry-level feminist and like, she's the main, I don't remember her name. The main girl's supposed to be like so like full of potential, but I didn't know why and it wasn't explained. And then because the Female Persuasion, like the actual entity of it in the book, I think if I remember is written by a professor, and I was confused why that was also a big deal. Meg Wolitzer is not for me. 5,
a genre that you have no interest in or a genre you tried to get into and couldn't. I feel like we might have the same answer to this.
Maybe.
Romance is...
Oh no, that's not mine. That's yours?
Yeah, because, I mean, I get the feel-good aspect of it, but I felt like if there was going to be a romance book I liked, it was going to be red, white,
and royal
blue. A lot of different things happening, and I feel like that's... I just need a couple of things to concentrate my energy on. I don't need, like, all of them. We don't need to hit all of them every time. I also feel like I would probably potentially read romance if anything else sparked my fancy, but yeah, I just feel like I know everyone's really into that get a Hank Chloe Brown or whatever. Yeah, but it doesn't really I'm not interested.
I didn't really give like an answer. I feel like it'd be easy for me to say something like horror or something like really genre specific, so I just said kind of like what I mentioned earlier about the family saga stuff. Like I think of books like buzz books when I think of that genre. Like there was that book The Immortalist or something by Chloe Benjamin that came out, and then also ones like Homegoing, lots of years pass, family saga stuff, which sounds exhausting to me already.
Number 6, a book you bought but will never read, or a book you unhauled, returned to the library, unread. I put Say Nothing by Patrick Radden Keefe.
Oh, really? Oh.
Which was it was like a fictionalized narrative of the Troubles.
Yeah, I thought you would really like that.
I know, because I really find that era interesting.
Yeah.
The first chapter where it starts is like, they're like in the archive, about to figure out what happened or something. It fell off right after that for me. It was like, I don't know. I just thought it was boring. I don't know an intellectual thing to say about it.
It's sold as like being about this mother who disappears and the family and stuff, but it kind of becomes like a mishmash of like the history of the Troubles and then also that. So at first I thought they were competing, which kind of turned me off, but then it kind of does come together. So.
Well, I returned it to the library.
It's really like, I couldn't really think of one, but you know this book because it's like the one book that we always think of probably is at a library sale. So I've bought it twice actually from like library sales, and then I've returned both of them. But it's that Let the Great World Spin book. And like, so do you still have it at your parents', I think, or something?
I think I got rid of it. I feel like it's because that's like a good title. Also, it was like Tumblr 2012.
Yeah.
That quotes were floating around. Kind of reminds me of that period, but I don't even know what it's about.
I don't either. I'm just guessing it's one of those like weird like family years past things, so I'm just trying to
Yeah.
So
7, a series you have no interest in reading, or a series you have started and have DNF'd. I didn't have an answer for this one.
None at all?
I couldn't think of one. Because the only series I could think that I read was the Neapolitan novels, which I love.
Which we love, and everyone loves. It's actually funny because I bought this book today, so I don't mind like this seasonal thing by what's his name? Nasguard. But the My Struggle ones where it's just about him like throughout his life and there's like 5 books, those don't interest me, but his seasonal ones do, like the spring, summer, the other ones. So
a new release you have no interest in reading. I wrote We Are Never Meeting in Real Life by Samantha Irby. I think that's
really?
Yeah, I don't know. Is she a celebrity or is she a writer first?
I don't think so. I think she started like on a blog and then it became like popular and then people just wanted more of it.
I read so much of that kind of like style of writing, like David Sedaris and everyone. We were in college. Yeah. I feel like I fit right in like the age range and like girl and new job or whatever, but not interested.
I said, this might be my biggest hot take, but it's The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett. So I said this one just because, kind of like earlier with my first one with Eleanor, Oliphant, I feel like I just kind of already know my reaction to this book. I think I would like it, but I think that's all. I don't think I would be like, wow, this is like amazing, which is kind of like what I mentioned at the bookstore when we went today, that I'm like much more intentional now with books I want to buy, that I'm like beyond my phase of like want to try things out just for the sake of hearing about them. If it was gifted to me, sure, but probably not buying it on my own.
Yeah, I'm not too interested in that one either. I don't even know what it's about.
I think it's just about 2 sisters and one of them is like really passing. I think at least is like half white or something. So she like fits in pretty well by like being able to switch between both. So, which sounds cool and like good, but I don't know. It's like, I feel like I would know how it ends and then appreciate it, but I wouldn't like love it.
Yeah. I feel like I saw that one as a top pick for like potentially the Pulitzer.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh. Maybe if it wins.
Yeah, I may try it then.
We'll try it.
We can show Chunks because he wanted to be in this video too.
He is very much a people person, so he saw us talking. Say bye.
As always, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.